Hi everyone, it is Rochelle and we are going to be starting a series that I've kind of been thinking about doing for a while. And basically what this is going to be is I'm going to reread some of my favorite books when I was growing up, whether the age was maybe in elementary school, high school, whenever. Now, some of these books might have, at the time, been books that I considered maybe being a 5-star read, and so I kind of want to reread them again here at the age of 28 to see if it's still a book that I really love. And so the first one we're going to start with is actually going to be Safe Haven by Nicholas Sparks. Now, I'm not a huge romance reader anymore, but I do remember when I used to read Nicholas Sparks books, I absolutely adored them. And this was actually one of my all-time favorite ones. I think I reread it like 2 or 3 times, and it was actually a book that my mom's coworker lent to her. And then I read it, I really enjoyed it, and then my mom read it, and we actually discussed it. And my mom's not really a huge reader. She actually gets a little bit annoyed by a book just because of the fact, like, when she finds a book she loves to read, that's all she wants to do. She only wants to read that book, and then she doesn't accomplish anything else. But my favorite moments that I remember growing up, aside from sharing food with her and nerding out over musicals, was talking about certain books that we really enjoyed reading. So this has a lot of nostalgia for me, and I thought I'd start the series off by reading this book. So that's what we're going to start with. We're going to see, is this book actually a 5-star, or is it less than a 5-star now? And also, by the way, if you hear any crunching in the background, Nugget is currently eating a treat, so hopefully you don't mind that crunchy ASMR from dog treats. With that being said, let's start reading. That's kind of awkward that you're going to be seeing his face, so hang on. Let me take off the dust jacket, because I don't know if you want to be staring at a picture of Nicholas Sparks for the entirety of me reading throughout this vlog. So let's change it to this. This is much better. Hi, hello, it is me again, just doing a quick check-in. I just got to chapter 2, so I didn't get too far in the book, but realized I didn't really give an introduction to this book or talk about it a bit more, so I just figured I'd stop real quick and do that before I get too invested and wrapped up in the book. Also, like all the books that I currently have piled up over here, some of them are from my recent haul, and then I'm also kind of getting my TBR for the month of September together. Depending on when this video is posted, this is either a spoiler or something you're already aware of, so we shall see. But yeah, basically with Safe Haven, it's about a girl that ends up going and moving to a small town, and we kind of learn that it's because she is escaping something, but we don't necessarily know what. And then she kind of catches the eye of a single dad with a couple of kids. He runs a little, I guess, like a town equivalent of a small grocery store, and they have a house that is upstairs. And we kind of learned that his wife passed away not too long ago, but he is still hurting and grieving from the loss of his wife, and trying to figure out how to do life with raising 2 very young kiddos. And so he kind of is interested in this mysterious woman, but notices that she's kind of timid, kind of scared and uncertain about certain things. And then, as with Nicholas Sparks books, eventually, you know, a romance ends up coming, and then I guess some sort of conflict ends up coming up, and we kind of learn what the secret is with Katie and what she's running away from. I guess like getting the different points of views, getting to see all the characters' different perspectives, especially one of the characters that I will probably mention once I get to it, getting his point of view, it just really intrigued me, and I guess in a way kind of set me up on the path of wanting to look more into mental health and being a little bit more curious about it. When I was in college, I actually started off as a biology major, and then shortly after being on academic probation, switched to, I believe, a communications major and a psych minor, and then ended up going and switching it around. But yeah, I guess this book made me kind of realize how interested I was in psychology before I even realized it. And so I think there's just, like I was hinting at earlier, a lot of different nostalgia pieces with this book. And so yeah, I'm very excited to see what my thoughts are of it today. And with that being said, I will go back into reading, but I just kind of wanted to give you a little bit more of an overview of what the book is about, as well as some of the feelings that I had while reading this book and some of the other pieces that meant a lot to me, besides this being a book that I read with my mom and was able to go and talk about with her. Well, let's get back into reading. All right, so I just got to page 32, so chapter 4. I'm just kind of doing these like brief little check-ins, but I'm just remembering why I loved this book so much, and just like fell in love with a lot of the characters. They were just so likable. Like Katie, you obviously wonder, you know, like what's going on? Why is she so timid? Why does she need this fresh start? And then Alex, the guy that works at this small store, just seeing the love he has for his kids, and also, you know, thinking about the sad but happy memories he had of his wife, and just taking care of the store that once belonged to his father-in-law and got sent to him, and how he kind of runs about like taking care of the store, taking stock, seeing what's popular, what's not so popular, so he knows what to restock it with and restock the shelves. And yeah, just like those little details. I do have a soft spot for small town stories, which is kind of where this story is taking place for Safe Haven. I did grow up in a small town as well, and although at the time I was desperate to get away, there's certain things that, you know, are very nostalgic and make you very happy to think back on and reflect on. And so that's definitely a piece that I really enjoy with this story as well. One thing too, like I don't think I mentioned, like obviously there's a movie for Safe Haven, and I do really like that movie. I prefer the book more than the movie, and mostly that's because, like, although the casting was really great, they did make certain changes to the characters, and I loved the characters so much more in the book, especially when it came to the kids. Like, the casting for the kids in the movie was great, but they changed certain details about them, like their personalities and some of their actions, and I wish they would have kept it the same in the book, because they were just perfect as is. But yeah, I'm very much liking it. We just got past the point of Alex kind of reflecting on the first time he met Katie, and seeing how his daughter and Katie get along, or Miss Katie, as her daughter calls Katie. And it's so precious. It's so cute. I'm very much like reliving a lot of the memories I had when reading this book, and yeah, just very excited to continue reading it. But it is almost 11:30 here my time, so I'm going to take a quick break to go and get some food set up, and then I think I'm going to watch a little bit of YouTube just to get a little bit of a palate cleanser, because I've been reading a bunch since this morning. I finished another book that I have been trying to get through for my bingo, which basically is ending tomorrow. Tomorrow's the last day, and I need to get through this book and one more to finish the bingo board and have everything blacked out. But yeah, I'm gonna do a quick break just to go and eat, maybe watch a video or two, and then we'll get back to reading. So yeah, I'll talk to you again shortly. All right, back with some food. So I just went and heated up some pizza. We're not going to go and order food as often as we have been for a while, but we decided to treat ourselves the other night, having some pizza. I also have some ginger ale with me here. It's like one of the few sodas I have, and as a girl that has a lot of tummy problems, anything with ginger is just a-okay in my book. But yeah, gonna go and eat, maybe watch a video and play a tiny game for a little bit, and then get back to reading. Alright, so I just got to page 100. I'm at chapter 13, and I still am absolutely loving this book. I'm remembering a lot of the moments that like made me kick my feet and giggle when I was reading it way back then. And it kind of reminded me of some of the reasons why I used to love romance so much. Just like those innocent stories and like that amount of trust and I don't know, finding that ideal partner, especially after dealing with difficult relationships, I guess. So yeah, I've been very much enjoying it. I'm, like I said, 100 pages in, and yeah, just remembering why I loved this story so much. I really love all the characters and how they're all described, and just getting to hear some of their thought processes and everything. One of the things that I'm not used to, considering like this book is a bit on the older side, is I'm so used to when you're reading the story or reading different chapters from a different character's point of view, it always has that character's name at the chapter. And so you don't really get it with this one, but of course, the way it's written, it is fairly easy to, of course, tell which character's perspective you're reading from, especially with the pronouns and everything. But yeah, just one of those interesting things, like seeing how, you know, this book was written that way, whereas some of the recent books I've been reading where it switches between perspectives, it does say whose character you're reading, basically. So yeah, just some interesting things to note. But I think I'm gonna take another little break and then see if I can do some more reading. We have Charles's friend's 30th birthday to go to tonight, and so I think it's gonna be dinner and then maybe games at his house after, but we'll see how that goes. I might see if I can sneak away and go home just so that Nugget isn't alone by herself for too long, and yeah, then that would give me an opportunity to do some more reading. And I do need to finish one other book after this one, so I'm kind of like, I really need to zoom through it, but at the same time, it is such a good book so far, and I am very much enjoying it. I still feel like I'd probably rate it around five stars, but we'll see how that goes. And yeah, I'll give you another recap soon. Bye. Okay, just wanted to do a quick check-in. So I've made a bunch of progress in the book. I'm on page 169 and chapter 22, and oh, it's getting so good. I feel like after, you know, like some books it's good, but it's always a little bit slower, and then after you get past page 100, that's when the good stuff starts happening, and it's definitely gotten really good. Like Katie's kind of finally opening up about some of the things that have happened in her past, and then we're getting another point of view from the person that she left. I'm trying to figure out like how much to go and say, because I don't want to necessarily give spoilers, especially if you've never read the book, never watched the movie, but it's so good. And I feel like, you know, this is the way that like It Ends With Us should have been. I've never read It Ends With Us. Like, I only read, I think, the first chapter, and it kind of gave me a bit of the ick. I couldn't really get too far past it, but in my mind, like, this is the kind of book that I'd want to read with, like, a telling with a situation like that, and leaving an abusive ex and stuff like that. So I don't know, it's so good. And I guess like once you get past page 100, it kind of gives me like feelings that I really enjoy whenever I read psychological thrillers. And I think that goes back to, me talking earlier about how I majored in psychology. Like this book just kind of paved the way for some of the things that I enjoy today, but not necessarily the romance piece. But I do really love the romance in this book. It just it's so sweet in a way, and it definitely makes me a little bit more nostalgic towards the romance books that I used to really enjoy growing up. It's still not something that I prefer, but if I were to read that stuff, it's definitely books like this, because I don't know, it's just that hopeless romantic piece, I guess. But yeah, I'm probably going to stop reading, at least for the next bit, because we have to get ready to go to that party I mentioned earlier. Well, not party, that dinner that I mentioned earlier, so we're gonna have to do that. But hopefully when we get home, whenever that is, it's not too late and I can do some more reading, because I have this much left, so we'll see how it goes. But talk to you later. Okay. Good morning, friends. So I'm just doing another quick update. So last night we went to the pub for Charles's friend's birthday, and I did take a little video of the food that I got. It was so good. I was extremely full after. And then I did get a little bit of reading before we went to bed. Cats don't want to cuddle. And now I am on page 233, chapter 29, so definitely getting quite far in the book and probably gonna finish it today, hopefully. But yeah, very much enjoying this book. I guess like one little thing that kind of bothered me a few chapters ago was during Alex's point of view. He was making comments about Katie and just kept going and saying she was attractive, and it's like, yes, we know, you mentioned. And then he'll like say again like she did a certain look or something, and he's like, I forgot how much she was attractive, or in this angle she was very attractive, or something like that. And it's like, we get it, she's stunning, she's gorgeous. So that was one thing that was kind of bothering me a little bit. And then it's just really interesting, like once we get the dialogue of the husband and getting to hear like his internal thoughts, just constantly going and saying like, I'm an amazing cop, I'm an amazing husband, all of these things. And it kind of reminds me of American Psycho, and that one part with the business cards, if you know what I'm talking about. And he just has like this internal monologue where he's like overthinking every little thing, and just kind of makes me think of the husband a little bit. But yeah, it's really good, still really enjoying it. I'm still kind of going back and forth on what my star rating will be, like if it will be the same or if it will be something different. So yeah, we'll see. I'll probably check in again either before I finish the book or right after. So talk to you again soon. Just finished Safe Haven by Nicholas Sparks, and I did really love it so much. I had a lot of great memories going and reading it, and I found myself while I was reading the story going and comparing it to the movie. And I definitely do want to go and watch the movie again. So I just finished watching Safe Haven, the movie, and I have thoughts. So obviously, like, you've been watching my recap of the book, and I was like, oh, I'm gonna watch the movie, or I want to watch the movie soon. I thought I'd just go and insert this little snippet kind of talking about my feelings now, because I did decide to watch it. I found out that it was on HBO Max, and my memory of it was not accurate because I was thinking beforehand that the book and the movie were really well done. Like the casting was really good. There was only like some minor details with the son that bothered me. No, there was actually a lot more that they changed in the movie. So I'm gonna retract any statements I said where it was like one of those rare situations where the movie was just as good as the book. The movie was good, but it would probably be better if you didn't remember a lot of facts or details from the book itself. I really do stand by what I said with the casting. I thought the casting was very well done. However, they changed so many things. So how Katie ended up going and getting away in the beginning, they also took away some details about how hesitant she was to make any connections, especially with Alex, who was the owner of the store. She felt more comfortable talking to his daughter versus him, and she was more hesitant around him. And that really wasn't present as much. In the book, she was a lot smarter. Like, she had things planned out. She was very careful about what she did. And in the movie, they made it so she was more careless to a certain extent. She wasn't as cautious. And the event that led from her leaving where she originally lived was not the same. They completely changed that. They also changed some details with the person that she was running away from. Sorry, I just bopped my tripod. But they also changed the details of that person and how they were going about looking for Katie. Oh, and then, yeah, just certain events, they changed it. And I get why they did. It probably was going to be more attractive and sell more and bring more people in. But some of those details were what made the book so good. So yeah, I'm retracting any statement I had where I was saying that the movie was just as good as the book, like one of those things. No, the book was so much better and the details were so much better. Even when stuff about Katie gets found out, how that person reacts to it, that was different. And I'm trying to be a little bit vague because I don't want to be too spoilery, but yeah, I'm a little bit disappointed now. Like, both are good. Like, the book is good, the movie's good, but if you're thinking that the movie is going to be like the book, certain details are not. So I just had to go and input my 2 cents in here for that. And yeah, I'll send you back so you can watch the rest of my recap, getting everything together at the end of the video. I feel like I might be misremembering a few pieces, but I still do remember that I loved the movie quite a bit. But yeah, it was really good. I think compared to when I read it when I was younger, I can almost say 100% that I had rated it 5 stars back then. But I think rating it now, reading it again, I think maybe I would put it at 4.5 or 4 stars. I'm not quite sure. I'll put my final rating up here after I've had some time to like think about it, because today has been an absolute whirlwind. But yeah, no, I did really love it. I think there were some pieces that just felt like it kind of went on a bit long, especially when it was going from the husband's point of view. And I think because this is the 3rd time I'm reading this, I just was kind of like, all right, let's get to this part. Come on, let's go. So yeah, but like I said, I did really enjoy it, and it's kind of a fun idea to go and reread past books that I probably rated 5 stars to see how my feelings are about them now that I'm 28 and I'm not, 20 something or in high school or something along those lines. So yeah, I think I will put this book down, and I have another book I need to pick up, but you will not be seeing that because I'm not vlogging that experience. But yeah, if you liked the idea of me going and rereading books that were some of my favorites and seeing how I would rank them today, I'd love you to go and maybe leave a like on this, leave a comment, and of course, if you'd like to keep in touch and see any of the future episodes I do for this series, or any other video I have, I'd love for you to go and subscribe to my channel as well. It would mean the world to me, and would just show that you're supporting my little journey getting back into reading books and diving into the different worlds that they offer. But I'm gonna wrap it up here and head out. I hope that you have a lovely rest of your day wherever you are, and always remember that you're worthy and capable of amazing things. Bye.